What if Deku had Overhaul Part 2? Now, before I start this off, I would just like to say that the $10 donation to guarantee or what if to be made is now up to $15 because I didn't expect so many people to do it, and I want to have some other fans that can't pay so what ifs to be made and not just all the people that have money to do it. Now, where I left this series off, Izuku just helped defeat the Nomu as his class thanked him for saving Aizawa. Now, the sports festival has already passed, the internships have already passed, and now it's time for the final exam. The students trained for 2 weeks until the final exam happens. Now, Izuku would, of course, end up being paired with Bakugo against All Might, as Izuku and Bakugo would just sit there waiting for the start to begin. Now, Nezu would yell start over the intercom as Izuku and Bakugo both rush into the fake city. Now, once in this fake city, Izuku immediately knows that All Might is going to try to take out Bakugo first, as he is the weakest link. So Izuku waits, basically hiding, with Bakugo not knowing he's close to him, as All Might jumps down right next to Bakugo as Izuku reaches out his hand and touches the back of All Might. As All Might explodes, as Bakugo's left there in just a pool of All Might's blood, as the rest of the students scream in shock like, oh my god, is that seriously what Izuku's quirk can do? As Izuku places his hand back down on the floor as All Might reconstructs. Now, I'm not sure if I said this last episode, but I do believe All Might would end up being healed by Izuku using his quirk on him, as All Might just looks in shock as he's like, what did you do? Izuku says, I healed your injury while also using handcuffs on you. Well, it wasn't that good, though, because I technically had to kill you for it. But, I still fixed your injury. As Izuku would end up walking out of the fake city with Bakugo and All Might, basically giving them the win in the match. Now, the rest of their class goes as Aizawa tells them that in 1 week's time, they will be going back to the summer training camp like they did way before the sports festival. Yes, I did 2 training camps because why not? So they all hop onto a bus a week later as they start to drive to the training camp. Now this time, instead of dropping them off, they just all drive with them, seeing as what the students happened to do last time, and that they weren't going to have that happen again. So they basically just wait for them to do that as they all get off the bus and where the training camp is. Now, from that point on, the weeks, they would end up training as hard as they can to improve their quirks. When all of a sudden, one night happens where a massive blue flame emerges over the horizon above the trees. Now, the teacher seeing this would wonder what that would be, as one of the Raw Pussycats would use their quirk and say, villains are attacking us. Aizawa, get your students back here. As Aizawa tries to get many of the students back here, as Izuku runs off, knowing that Kota, the small child that was orphaned, needs to be saved as he might be under attack by villains as well. Now, when Izuku finds Kota on this mountain cave side type place, he sees Muscular standing over Kota, about to kill him. Izuku would jump down and put a finger down or his whole hand down on the floor as a massive spike would come up right behind Muscular as it'd stab him right through the heart, killing him instantly as Muscular's limp body would fall down to the floor, completely dead. Izuku would go and grab Kota as he would take them back to the heroes, as Izuku would see the heroes surrounded by Magni and Spinner. Izuku would basically run at Magni and punch her right in the face, knocking her unconscious, as Izuku would do the same to Spinner. As Izuku gives Koda back to his aunt, I think? Forgot. As Izuku would rush off to try to help people or help Bakugo, but he'd never reach Bakugo and Todoroki, who were fighting Moonfish. As we cut to Bakugo fighting Moonfish with Todoroki, as both of them would be captured inside Mr. Compressed Marbles, as they rush out and into a purple portal. Now from there, they are released into basically chairs as they are sat down, as Shigaraki starts complaining that the kid that ruined their plans just couldn't be found. Now, this is confusing to Shigaraki as he says, "What do you mean the kid that couldn't be found?" To which Bakugo says, "Wait, are you talking about Izuku?" As they say, "Yes, the green-haired boy. We were looking for him, but we couldn't find him." Interesting. As both Todoroki and Bakugo look at each other like, "Wait, you couldn't find him? What do you mean? He was there with us." And so we're like, we couldn't even find him. We were stalking all of you for the entire night. It's quite weird, actually. As both Bakugo and Todoroki are there, as they're trying to convince them to join the League of Villains. But we cut to a new, basically surrounding or background, as Izuku is trapped there he's trapped in some type of warehouse with the chains around his legs and hands, as he's tied up in a chair with a blindfold on in this very massive warehouse, just left with nothing to do, as all he has to think is, "Where am I?" As Izuku would just think this as he hears the rattling of doors open, as he hears footsteps clank on the tile floor, as someone comes right up close to him and says, "So, you are my son. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, why don't you call me your dad, son?" Izuku says, "What do you mean?" As Overhaul snatches the blindfold off of Izuku, says, "I'm your father, Izuku. You should have known that." As Izuku just looks at him like, "What do you mean?" Only to have Overhaul touch Izuku's toe, as his toe would explode, as he'd scream in agony. Overhaul would do this to all of his toes before basically using his quirk to basically have the toes regenerate back to Izuku, as Izuku is tortured by Overhaul constantly, his toes and his fingers constantly being destroyed and then basically destroyed and then reassembled constantly. Izuku feeling every bit of pain that Overhaul instilled in him, as Overhaul would basically try to break Izuku. Now, this is the point where Izuku would end up having dreams about his mother talking to him. How she would say that he needs to just give up and fight back. The heroes are never gonna come. It's already been 2 weeks, and they still haven't come to get him. They're not going to get him if they haven't come in 2 weeks' time. Now we cut to Bakugo and Todoroki in the villain lounge, as they hear a knock on the door, as All Might yells pizza delivery and smashes the door down with Kamene Woods, I don't know how to pronounce his name, smashes the door down as they basically just say, "What? How'd you find us?" As All Might says, "Wait, where's young Midoriya?" As Bakugo says, "They said they couldn't find him. Someone else must have kidnapped him or something." He said, "What? Impossible." As they rush around trying to find Izuku in this massive extent of a warehouse. Now we cut back to Izuku still having dreams about his mother as he looks at her with hatred and says, "Why are you in my dreams? Why are you in my head? You abandoned me when I was 4. Now Inko then says, "Izuku, you should be worrying about the bigger things right now. That you're being tortured, tormented. Just give up already and kill Overhaul." As Izuku says, "That's not the hero way. I'm still a hero in training. If I kill him now, they won't take me back as a hero." This is when Inko, as in his dream that they're talking, says, "Izuku, we both know that you're lying to yourself. That's total crap. You killed Muscular, but that was only to save Koda." As Inko just looks at him, says, "You're gonna continue feeling pain if you don't try to kill him. Just let go of it already. They're not gonna come save you." As Izuku is forced to keep going through this torture for weeks, each and every single day, Overhaul basically consuming Izuku's screams, basically giving Overhaul more enjoyment each time he tortures Izuku. Now, back with All Might, he ends up fighting All for One. With All Might now having 100% of his power back, he was easily able to defeat a weakened All for One, as All for One is taken away to a maximum security prison. All Might is then praised for how he easily beats All for One, and how it's so lucky they have him as the number 1 hero. Now, after that, Izuku would continue to be tortured day in and day out for months. The heroes would continue looking for him, but to no luck. They would constantly try to go to different warehouses that the League of Villains occupied, but they'd never find it. They had no clue where Izuku could have been. Now, Izuku would continue to be tortured for months upon months. His classmates, or his former classmates, would continue to feel worried about him not turning up. Now, one day just happens to arrive. This is a sort of mysterious day for the entire class, as it was the day they were going to raid the Overhaul building. Now, when they got there, all they saw were hundreds of dead bodies laying on the ground in pools of their own blood. It looks like they've been rotting there for weeks. Now, if we jump back a couple of weeks, we see Izuku finally break as he's talking to his mother in his subconscious, as she says, "Just give it up already, Izuku. The heroes aren't coming. It's been almost 4 months now. If you don't let go, you're going to continue being tortured. Your father would never have done this to his son." As Izuku thinks for a moment and says, "If they're never going to come, I'll never be a hero. So maybe I should just kill Overhaul. Yes, Izuku, that's it." Inko says, "I'll kill everyone here. Nobody will be able to stay alive. Good, Izuku, good. I'll kill every single one of them. They'll all pay for torturing me. Good, Izuku. Now follow up on that." As Izuku's hair would turn white. Now, Overhaul would end up walking into this massive room, as he'd just laugh and say, "Playtime's finally over, Izuku. I can finally experiment on you with all the blood I have of you." As Izuku just starts laughing, most like he's insane, as he'd break through of his chains, as he'd lunge towards Overhaul's face, touching him with all 10 of his fingers, exploding Overhaul, as Izuku jumps back, laughing and says, "You could never have done that. I killed you before you can even think of something." As Izuku walks out of that warehouse, killing everybody in his sight, leaving massive trails of blood behind him, as he'd walk out with his very ragged and destroyed clothing, with the handcuffs still around his wrists and ankles, basically still smashing into his wrists, making him bleed even more, as he'd walk down the streets, as people would just look at him funny, as he'd walk into an alleyway and just wouldn't come out. This is where we see the heroes just walk into the Overhaul building just a week after this event happened to see this entire just massacre, as they walk down to a room where they see a chair and just a massive pool of blood on this chair, with basically like half of Overhaul's body sitting there. So they say, who could have been in this chair? As they see a bucket of blood right next to Overhaul, so they decide to take that and DNA test it. Now, when they get back to UA and they DNA test it, it comes back as it happens to be Izuku's DNA. Izuku was the one being tortured there, as the entire heroes in class's hearts drop. Izuku was there being tortured? Now, one thing they didn't happen to see was the body of a young girl named Eri. You guys will probably hate me for this, but Izuku went insane and would not spare anybody, including the young girl, basically putting her out of her misery with the entire Overhaul group. Now, Izuku would hop the building tops until he makes his way to UA, where he would stalk each and every single person as he just watched them and laugh. They didn't save me. They betrayed me. That's all he would think about, and that'd only fuel his anger. As one by one, he'd pick off each of his classmates until there were no classmates left. UA would just be shocked. It happened in just under an hour. He picked off 20 students in an hour with such ease, and they couldn't find him. It was just somebody, as the only thing they had of him was a very blurry image of him that showed him with no shoes on and handcuffs around his arms and legs. And one by one, the bodies of his classmates were found, as they'd just be shocked at what happened, as they'd wonder who could have done such a thing. As All Might says, no, it can't be. It's a long stretch, but do you think it could have been Izuku? As the heroes think for a moment and says, no, it can't be. In the blurry picture, it clearly shows his hair is white, not green. This is where Recovery Girl mentions in a long of times stress can cause your hair to turn white. Maybe you went through so much stress being tortured that just very thing happened. Could he possibly be getting revenge on all of us for not saving him? Maybe he thinks we abandoned him or betrayed him. That can't be. As over the course of a month, those heroes would end up being picked off as well, until the only one left was Nezu. Having no protection left, Nezu would have accepted his fate, sitting in his principal's office, knowing that Izuku will come to kill him. As Izuku is walking down the hallway, the cold floor, as Izuku's bare feet were just banging against this cold tiled floor, as Nezu could hear the slow walking of Izuku, as Izuku would get to the principal's office and open up the door, as Izuku would reach out to Nezu and place his hand on Nezu's head, killing him instantly, with Nezu not even resisting, accepting his fate. As Izuku would end up walking out of the UA building, as a week passes by, as people start to get suspicious that nobody was walking into the UA building, So they have more heroes go to investigate it as they see it's completely abandoned with hundreds of bloodstains everywhere, tons of dead bodies. The entire school, all of the students, all the heroes there, including All Might, all died. But who could possibly have done this? While they were asking this question, they hear someone say, "Me. Every single one of them here betrayed me. They left me to die. I was tortured for months, and so they don't deserve the right to live." As Izuku would then kill the heroes that would come in to try and defeat Izuku, each time they would end up dying until the heroes were almost non-existent. Izuku would have won. There was no need for heroes anymore, as the villains ruled the society, with each villain with each hero being killed off by Izuku. The villains would run wild, destroying society, as that's where it ends. Society is ruined, and Izuku constantly kills heroes because the heroes betrayed him and left him to rot and die, be tortured. And so that's where this series is going to leave off. I'm sorry if you guys don't like where I took this series, but I think it was pretty interesting. This What If, at least, it was pretty enjoyable to make. As I'm sorry if this is somewhat of a cliffhanger. I don't think it is. Society's broken, ruined. Remember, if you want to donate to Guarantee or What If, it's now $15. I thank you all for watching, and goodbye.